Hi guys, just wanted to talk to you today about mindset and resetting your mindset. We're coming to the end of the year at a time when we reflect over what we did this year and New Year's resolutions and all that sort of good stuff coming up. And I was reflecting today on what is it that makes some people successful in the goals that they go for and others not so much? And is it a discipline thing, or is it a strategy thing? Is it something that we develop and we can control and develop like we would a muscle? And I really believe that it's having a good outcome, having a big goal. You want to have a big goal, you want to understand your why. You've heard me talk about this before probably. Having a strong why. You want a particular outcome, say it's weight loss, say it's running a marathon, say it's starting a new business. You have to understand the layers of the onion, the reasons why you want to do it. And when you can tap into those emotional triggers about why it's important to you, then you're more likely to make the right decisions in the moment. And then when we come to actually making decisions, say, for example, today I decided I was going to go to the gym and I was going to work out. Now, a lazy part of me is going, why don't we just have a day off? You're a bit tired today. Why don't we just take a day off? Okay, so this is the discussion that's going on in my brain. And I know how to override that tendency towards laziness because I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I understand that if I can just pull the trigger and actually do without thinking, and sometimes just the act of putting on your clothes or actually getting in the car and going to the gym and thinking, well, I'll decide once I'm there whether I'm actually going to go in. And invariably you do. So we tend to go throughout our whole day making 30-second decisions. So we're looking at the next 30 seconds. It's part of our survival instinct. Is this decision that I'm going to do right now going to give me more pleasure or more pain? And we always go towards pleasure and not pain. And you might say, well, we don't always. I mean, running a marathon is not all pleasure and it's a hell of a lot of pain. But the pleasure in that is the outcome, and it's understanding what your big motivation is. You are still going towards that long-term pleasure, okay? So you're actually going away from the pain of maybe being overweight and being unfit and not achieving what you set out to do. So that is the pain that you're going away from, and you're going towards the pleasure of having that marathon medal around your neck and understanding that you had the discipline to do it. So we are all creatures of wanting to go away from pain and towards pleasure. Now, when it comes to something like, do I go and put that piece of chocolate in my mouth? And this is a debate that I have with myself very regularly because I love chocolate. If my goals are that I want to lose weight, I want to eat less chocolate this week, I want to do something more, then how can I stop that impulse? Because very often these little decisions that we are making on a daily basis, they are the ones that add up to the big outcomes. But we are always just looking straight in front of our noses usually. How good is that chocolate going to taste? But if you can take a step back and go, what's around the corner when I keep repeatedly eating the wrong things? Around the corner is perhaps disease. Around the corner is perhaps diabetes, is perhaps getting overweight. It's perhaps not feeling good about myself. It's feeling sick in my own body. And if you can start to think through the consequences of what is around the corner and not about the immediate gratification, it's just been having a bit of a zoomed out view of why you're making the decision. And you won't always win, and I certainly don't win against chocolate all the time. It sometimes beats me. But if I can exercise that muscle on repeatedly making the right decisions and then congratulating myself when I do make that good decision today, and I strengthen, that muscle that is all about strengthening the pathways. When we do a habit over and over and over again, it's like making a really deep route in our neural pathways. It's like building a highway in your mind, and when you do a certain set of activities again and again and again, the brain starts to recognize that as a pattern, and it becomes the path of least resistance. And so it always becomes easier. So starting and changing behaviours are really, really hard. But once you're underway and you've been doing it for around about 60 days is what it usually takes for a habit to develop and for your brain to change its neural pathways, then it becomes a hell of a lot easier to get up in the morning and to do that right thing that you wanted to do. So today I want you to start to just think about the hundreds of little decisions that you make throughout the day. What you're going to eat for breakfast, what you're going to have for lunch, what exercise you're going to do today, how you're going to talk to your spouse, these don't, not just to do with fitness and nutrition. This is to do with everything. And if you can start to make decisions based not on the impulse of the next 30 seconds, which is what our limbic brain is just focused on fully on what is the taste of that, or I don't feel like going to the gym because I would rather go and have a sleep or lie on the couch and watch YouTube, and it's overcoming those impulses. Another trick that I like to do is just count down from 5 and then start. When I'm actually hesitating on something, if I just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and actually there's a whole book written on this, and then I pull the trigger and I do the thing and I start the thing, then it can become a lot easier to actually get action from yourself, because as soon as you start counting down in your brain, you're actually gearing up to go. So sometimes that can be a really clever little trick to just make you take action and stop ruminating, stop going over in your mind, do I want to train today, do I not want to train today? If you're feeling like totally unmotivated to train, and it's not because you're not ill or anything else, it's you just finding excuses, then just put your gym clothes on, put your running gear on, promise yourself just to get out the door, and then you can make your decision. And I use that one a lot, especially if I'm going for an early train, I've got to roll out of bed and go. Then I promise myself if I just get out of bed and I do the first half kilometre, and if I'm not happy, I'll turn around and come home. Invariably you don't, because you're underway, and yes, the first few minutes can be crap, but usually you start to warm up and things get better, and you've already got a dopamine hit because you've already done the thing you said you were going to do, and that in itself is a reward. So we are searching for those little dopamine hits to have that serotonin release after the run when we're feeling a lot happier about ourselves. So using a lot of these little tricks. So when you come into a fork in the road, and this is like every little decision that you make every day is a fork in the road. You can go left, which is the path that will lead you to success, or you can go right, that was going to eventually lead you into problems and difficulties and pain and disease and whatever else. Then think about the bigger picture. So try and think about what is it your why. Why is it that you're wanting to lose the weight? Why is it that you're wanting to start a running program or a fitness program? Why is it that you're wanting to start this business? And then when you start to just think about it, take a couple of deep breaths, visualize it for a couple of seconds in your head, and then pull the trigger. And then you'll find you'll make those right decisions more and more often. And if you can record this week, if you set a little goal, like I'm going to eat 4 good meals this week that are full of the foods that I should be eating. It can be a minor, it doesn't have to be a life-changing, I'm going to stick to a really strict diet 7 days a week for the rest of my life. It's unrealistic. Just pick out one little goal this week to set yourself on that path to. I'm going to do 4 gym sessions this week. I'm going to go for 5 runs this week. I'm going to eat 5 good meals this week for the dinners, or whatever that goal is, that immediate little goal, and then have someone that you can check in with in a week's time. Did you do that goal? And just having those little reminders. Another thing I just wanted to mention is that we are all different biotypes. We do a program called epigenetic testing in our business, and this is an amazing tool that looks at the different biotypes of the different health types of people, and each of the different types has a different way of motivating themselves. They have a different set of genes, they have a different way of thinking, they have different motivation points, they have different foods that they should be eating, they should have different exercise regimes, they have different times of the day when they should be doing it. Having that knowledge about yourself can be super valuable. I have that knowledge now about myself, and this is something I never had earlier, and now I understand my need for movement. I understand that I need to do things in short bursts of activity and then get out the door, like work for half an hour on the computer and then have a break. I understand that I need lots of little meals throughout the day. I understand that I need a little bit more protein than other biotypes. I understand that I should be getting up earlier in the day and going to bed earlier. These are things that are typical for my genes, that are actually good for my genes. And we can help you with that if you want to find out what your biotype is and how you can use this personalised information. Then I'd love you to reach out to us. You can check out that program on lisatamati.com, which is my website. This is the next level in personalised health and the next level in understanding your own brain, your own genes, and how you can really change up the game as far as the right exercises at the right time of the day, the right foods exactly for you as an individual. It's no longer a one-size-fits-all mentality. You know, a lot of these mental tips and tricks that I give you, they will work for us all. But we can get a lot more specialised when we have a conversation around epigenetics, when we understand who it is that you are and what genes you have and how to speak specifically to you. So I hope that little session helped you today, guys, in your mental toughness and your strengthening your resolve. I'd love you to check out my podcast too. I have a show called Pushing the Limits, which I put out every week, and a lot of the themes that we talk about on there around the health, around fitness, around running, around mindset, and around mental toughness. There's a lot on mental toughness and helping you improve and be a better version of yourself. So I hope you enjoy your Christmas, and we'll see you again soon.